Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today we're exploring one of the most talked about coins in American change, the United States of America 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter. If you've ever held this coin and wondered whether it could be worth more than 25 cents, stay right here, because the truth might surprise you. Picture this: you open an old jar, a drawer, or maybe your grandparents' coin box, and there it is, the famous drummer boy quarter. It feels common, right? After all, millions were made. But here's the twist: not all bicentennial quarters are the same, and some are hiding rare traits that can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's treasure. Most of these quarters were struck in copper-nickel for everyday use. Those are usually worth face value unless they are in extremely sharp mint state condition. But a smaller group was struck in 40% silver, and these carry a sweeter appeal. Silver quarters usually have an S mint mark and a brighter, cleaner edge. Finding one in great condition instantly makes your coin more desirable, but what truly sends collectors into a frenzy are the errors. Imagine a double die, where parts of the design appear doubled. Or an off-center strike, where the drummer boy seems shifted to one side. Some coins were even struck on the wrong metal planchet entirely. These mistakes are like hidden Easter eggs for coin hunters. Rare, exciting, and valuable, collectors especially chase coins that grade extremely high, those nearly flawless pieces that look like they left the mint only seconds ago. A regular bicentennial quarter might be common, but a perfect one? That's where the magic happens. And when errors and perfection meet, prices can skyrocket. So what about value today? A normal circulated 1776 to 1976 quarter is usually worth just its face value. A clean uncirculated one might bring a few dollars. Silver versions in great condition can reach into the tens and sometimes hundreds. And the rarest pieces, high-grade silver proofs or dramatic mint errors, have sold in auctions for thousands of dollars. Yes, thousands. So before you drop that bicentennial quarter back into a vending machine, take a moment. Look for the mint mark. Check the edge color. Study the drummer boy's details. You might be holding something far more special than pocket change. Top 2. We are exploring one of the most inspiring and eye-catching modern coins in American history, the 2022 United States quarter featuring the legendary Maya Angelou. If you've ever wondered whether a recent coin can still be rare, exciting, and valuable, stay with me, because this quarter has surprised collectors all over the world. When you first pick up the coin, it feels different. On the reverse side, Maya Angelou stands tall with her arms lifted, a bird rising behind her as if echoing her famous voice. Rays of light spread across the design, symbolizing her powerful influence and the way she lifted generations with her words. It's not just a coin, it's a celebration of strength, culture, and history. But here's where things get interesting for collectors. Even though this quarter was released for general circulation, not all of these coins are equal. Different mint marks like P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco can change a coin's desirability. The S mint mark especially attracts attention because many of those coins were struck as collector proofs, giving them a mirror-like finish and much sharper detail, and just like every modern release, errors can happen. Some Maya Angelou quarters have shown small die chips, extra metal around the wings or arms, slight doubling in the lettering, or even unusual surface marks caused during the minting process. These errors are not extremely common, and that makes them far more appealing to collectors who love the thrill of finding something unique. Condition plays a huge role as well. A quarter that has been tossed in pockets or scraped in change drawers loses value fast. But a coin that looks crisp, shiny, and untouched, one you might find in a brand new roll, can be worth far more. Graded examples in mint state conditions are where collectors start seeing serious value rise. Even though this is a modern coin, early examples graded at the highest levels have already broken expectations. Collectors are constantly competing for the cleanest, sharpest, most perfect strike of this historic design. And when competition rises, so do prices. Now let's talk real values. A regular circulated Maya Angelou quarter is usually worth only face value. A clean, uncirculated one can sell for a few dollars. High-grade examples certified by professionals have sold in auction for several $100s. And a few of the rarest, top-graded pieces have reached above $500 in auctions. So next time you receive a little change at a store, don't ignore that 2022 quarter. Look at it carefully. Check the shine, check the details, look for the mint mark, and especially inspect for any errors. You might be holding something more special than you realize. Top 3, we are exploring one of the most dramatic and collectible modern quarters of the United States, the 2021 Crossing the Delaware Quarter. If you think modern coins can't be rare or exciting, stay with me, because this quarter has become one of the most talked about pieces in recent coin collecting history. You hold the coin in your hand and immediately feel the power of the design. On the reverse side, General George Washington stands boldly at the front of the boat, coat flying in the winter wind as he leads the daring mission across the icy Delaware River in 1776. The detail is sharp, heroic, and full of movement, making this quarter stand out instantly from any ordinary pocket change. It's more like a miniature piece of historical artwork than a simple 25-cent coin, but what truly makes collectors pay attention is not just the design, it's the variations, the mint marks, and the minting errors that make some of these coins surprisingly valuable. Most were minted in Philadelphia with a P mint mark or in Denver with a D mint mark, but the San Francisco S mint mark versions were struck in smaller numbers and often finished in higher quality. Collectors search for these because proof and uncirculated S mint coins have a cleaner, more detailed finish. Then come the errors, the treasure hunt that makes this coin even more interesting. Some coins show die chips around Washington's hat, giving the famous hat error. Others have doubling in the lettering, missing details, off-center strikes, or extra metal around the boat. These flawed pieces are far more scarce and instantly catch a collector's eye because every error makes the coin unique. In some rare cases, the die breaks created dramatic raised lumps on the coin, making those examples much more desirable. Condition matters just as much as rarity. A quarter that has traveled through hundreds of hands loses its edge, but one that looks fresh from the mint, untouched and sharply detailed, can be worth several times more. Collectors chase high-grade examples because modern coins rarely survive in perfect condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value, and that's where competition gets intense. Now let's talk realistic values. A normal circulated 2021 Crossing the Delaware quarter is worth face value. A clean uncirculated example can bring a few dollars. High-grade professionally certified coins often sell for tens of dollars, and special proof versions can reach into the low hundreds. The rarest error pieces and top-graded examples have sold at auction for several $100s, with a few exceptional pieces reaching over $1,000. So next time you pick up change from a counter or sort through an old jar of coins, pay attention to that 2021 quarter. Look for crisp details, check the mint mark, examine it closely for errors. You might be holding a rare modern treasure without even knowing it. Top 4, we are taking a closer look at a coin most people see every day but never truly notice, the 1988 United States quarter dollar. It looks simple, it looks ordinary, but if you're a coin lover, you know one thing: nothing is ever just ordinary. And this 1988 quarter is hiding details, rarities, and errors that could make your simple pocket change worth far more than 25 cents. Imagine holding the coin in your hand. On the front, George Washington's portrait stands bold and sharp, the design Americans have seen for decades. On the back, the proud eagle spreads its wings as if guarding a secret, and maybe, in your case, it actually is. Because the difference between a common 1988 quarter and a valuable one comes down to mint mark, condition, and rare minting errors that collectors go crazy for. Let's talk mint marks first. Look closely under Washington's neck. If you see a P, the coin was made in Philadelphia. If it shows a D, it came from Denver. And a small s means San Francisco, usually reserved for proof coins with mirror-like surfaces and sharper details. These proof coins were never meant for circulation, so finding one in everyday change is already special, but what really gets collectors excited are the errors. Some 1988 quarters were struck slightly off-center, creating a misaligned image. Others show die cracks, small bumps of extra metal, or doubling in the lettering, tiny mistakes that happened during minting but make the coin unique today. A few rare pieces were even struck on the wrong metal planchet, giving them strange colors or unexpected weights. These coins can jump in value instantly because no two errors are ever exactly the same, and then there's condition, the factor that decides whether a coin is interesting or truly valuable. A quarter that's been tossed, scraped, and worn down through decades of circulation will usually stay at face value. But a sharp, glossy, untouched 1988 quarter? That is where the real value begins to rise. High-grade coins with brilliant luster and crisp details are exactly what collectors look for, and those pieces can sell for much more. Now let's talk real-world numbers. A regular circulated 1988 quarter is worth 25 cents. An uncirculated example in beautiful condition can sell for a few dollars. High-grade versions certified by professional graders can reach values into the tens and sometimes the hundreds of dollars. And the rarest coins, error strikes or nearly perfect mint state examples, have reached auction prices of several $100s, with a few exceptional pieces climbing past $1,000. So before you spend that 1988 quarter on a snack or slip it into a vending machine, take a moment. Look at the mint mark. Study the surface. Check the edges. You never know, that simple coin might be a hidden treasure. Top 5. We are exploring a coin that almost everyone has seen, touched, or spent, yet very few people have ever stopped to notice its hidden secrets. The 1990 United States quarter dollar may look like a normal piece of pocket change, but for collectors, this coin holds surprises, rarities, and valuable errors that can turn an ordinary 25-cent coin into something worth far more. Hold the coin in your hand for a moment. On the front, George Washington's profile stands firm and proud, just as it has for decades. On the reverse, the classic eagle spreads its wings wide, guarding arrows and an olive branch, the final years before America switched designs in the late 90s. But within these familiar images lies the possibility of something special. Let's start with mint marks. Under Washington's chin, you'll find either a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco on certain proof coins. Most 1990 quarters were produced in huge numbers, especially from the P and D mints, so they're common in circulated condition. But the S mint mark proofs were made in limited quantities and with much sharper detail. These are the coins collectors chase because they were never meant to enter circulation at all. But what truly makes some 1990 quarters worth hunting for are the rare errors that slip through the minting process. Imagine finding a quarter with doubled lettering on the words "In God We Trust," or "Liberty" slightly blurred from a doubled die. Some coins show die cracks that create raised lines across Washington's bust or the eagle's wings. Others may have weak strikes, misaligned dies, or strange extra metal around the edges. In a few rare cases, coins were struck on the wrong metal planchet, giving them unusual color or weight, and those are the holy grail of error collectors. Condition is another key to unlocking value. A quarter that has spent years clinking around in pockets and machines will show wear, scratches, and fading. These coins are worth face value. But a pristine, uncirculated 1990 quarter with full luster, sharp edges, and no marks can be worth much more. The highest graded examples, especially in mint state with perfect surfaces, can fetch strong prices from collectors who want the cleanest, most flawless examples. Now let's talk real-world numbers. A typical circulated 1990 quarter is worth its face value of 25 cents. A nice uncirculated example can bring a few dollars. High-grade certified coins, especially those graded very high, can sell for tens to hundreds of dollars. And the rarest pieces, including unusual mint errors and nearly perfect proof or mint state coins, have reached auction prices of several $100s, with a few exceptional examples climbing into the four-figure range. So before you toss that 1990 quarter back into a jar or push it into a vending machine, stop for a second. Check the mint mark. Study the details. Look closely for strange marks or doubling. You might have a hidden treasure sitting right there in your hand. Top 6. We are taking a deep look at a coin that has been quietly circulating for decades, slipping through pockets, drawers, coin jars, and wallets without anyone realizing the hidden treasures it might hold. The 1980 United States quarter dollar may look like a normal everyday coin, but coin collectors know that even the most ordinary-looking quarters can hide extraordinary value when you know exactly what to look for. Let's start with the design. When you hold a 1980 quarter in your hand, you're holding a piece of American history. George Washington's familiar portrait fills the front of the coin, and on the reverse, the mighty eagle stands proudly with wings spread, gripping arrows and an olive branch, symbols of courage and peace. It's simple, classic, and timeless, but beneath this familiar design, there's a world of collectible possibilities waiting for attention. The first thing collectors look for is the mint mark. Under Washington's chin, you'll see either a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver. No S mint mark exists for circulation quarters this year, but proof versions from San Francisco were struck in very limited numbers and they show stunning detail and mirror-like surfaces. Any proof coin found in circulation is already an unexpected find worth holding onto, but the excitement grows when we talk about errors. The year 1980 produced some interesting mint mistakes. Some quarters show doubling on the date or on the word Liberty. Others have die cracks that run across Washington's portrait or appear near the eagle's wings. A few coins have off-center strikes, where parts of the design seem shifted or cut off. There are even rare examples with filled mint marks or extra metal around the edges, all signs of irregularities during minting that collectors absolutely love. Another major factor is condition. Most 1980 quarters have been circulating for over 40 years, meaning they've been scraped, scratched, and worn down by time. These pieces are common and usually worth face value. But a quarter that somehow survived the decades in perfect condition, bright luster, sharp edges, crisp details, that coin becomes something special. High-grade mint state examples are surprisingly hard to find because so few were saved the year they were released. Now, let's talk about real-world value. A regular circulated 1980 quarter is worth its standard value of 25 cents. A clean uncirculated example can bring in a few dollars. High-grade certified coins, those graded at very high mint state levels, can sell for tens to hundreds of dollars. And the rarest pieces, especially mint errors or nearly perfect proof coins, have reached auction prices of several $100s, with exceptional examples going beyond the $1,000 mark. So before you toss aside that old 1980 quarter, take a moment to inspect it. Look closely for doubling, cracks, unusual edges, or a perfect, untouched surface. What might seem like just another coin could actually be a hidden treasure quietly waiting for someone to notice it. Top 7. We are diving into a coin that has quietly passed through countless hands, yet holds secrets that can excite any coin collector, the 1977 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it may look ordinary, George Washington on the front, the eagle spreading its wings on the back. But if you look closely, you'll see why collectors keep hunting for this classic coin. Imagine holding a 1977 quarter in your hand. The details of Washington's hair, the sharp edges of the eagle's feathers, the clean rim, it all looks familiar, but the story of its rarity is hidden in subtle details that only careful eyes can spot. The first thing collectors check is the mint mark. A small D under the date means it came from Denver, and no mark at all means Philadelphia. Most 1977 quarters were minted in huge numbers, but finding one in flawless condition is much harder than you might think. Errors are where the thrill begins. Some 1977 quarters were struck slightly off-center, making part of the eagle or Washington appear shifted. Others show double dies, where lettering or parts of the design look duplicated. Die cracks sometimes appear as raised lines across the coin, giving it a unique, one-of-a-kind appearance. These mistakes make the coin rare and can instantly increase its value for collectors who love the hunt for something unusual. Condition is equally important. A quarter that has circulated for decades, scraped by pockets, machines, and coin jars, will show wear and is usually only worth face value. But a coin that has survived over 40 years in pristine, uncirculated condition, with bright luster, crisp details, and sharp edges, can be a gem. High-grade mint state quarters from 1977 are surprisingly scarce and highly desirable. Now let's talk real-world value. A typical circulated 1977 quarter is worth 25 cents. A clean, uncirculated example might sell for a few dollars, depending on condition. Coins with small mint errors or in high mint state grades can reach auction values of tens to hundreds of dollars. And the rarest error coins or exceptional examples in perfect condition have been known to sell for several $100s at auction, making them a rewarding find for any serious collector. So next time you come across a 1977 quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. Examine the mint mark, check for crisp details, and watch for unusual marks or slight doubling. What seems like an ordinary coin could actually be a hidden treasure in your hands. Top 8. We are diving into a coin that marked a major shift in American coinage, the 1965 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it might look like a regular quarter with George Washington on the front and the classic eagle on the back, but for collectors, this coin is full of fascinating history, rare variations, and potential value that goes far beyond its face value. Listen carefully, because by the end of this video, you'll see why even a common 1965 quarter can be intriguing. The 1965 quarter is unique because it was the first year the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulating quarters. Prior to 1965, quarters were 90% silver, but starting in 1965, they became copper-nickel clad. This change alone makes the 1965 quarter a turning point in U.S. coin history. For collectors, it's not just a coin, it's a symbol of a major transition in currency and minting technology. Holding this quarter in your hand, you'll notice the familiar Washington portrait on the obverse and the eagle spreading its wings on the reverse. But what makes certain 1965 quarters stand out are mint marks, errors, and condition. Most of these coins were produced in Philadelphia, without a mint mark, and Denver, marked with a small d. There were no proof quarters minted for circulation that year, making the circulated pieces the main focus for collectors. Errors from this year are especially interesting. Some 1965 quarters were struck off-center, leaving part of the eagle or Washington cut off. Others show weak strikes or doubling, particularly on the date or the word liberty. These errors are rare, and even minor flaws can make a coin collectible. In some cases, die cracks created raised lines across the coin, making each piece one of a kind. Condition is critical for determining value. Most 1965 quarters have been circulating for decades, showing wear and losing their original luster. These coins are typically only worth face value. But a 1965 quarter that survived in uncirculated condition, with bright details, sharp edges, and minimal handling, can attract attention from serious collectors. High-grade coins in mint state are much scarcer than most people realize. Now let's talk about real-world numbers. A standard circulated 1965 quarter is generally worth 25 cents. A clean uncirculated coin can sell for a few dollars, depending on condition. Rare mint errors or high-grade mint state coins can reach auction prices in the tens or even hundreds of dollars. Exceptional examples with significant errors or perfect surfaces have been known to fetch several $100s, making them a surprising find for anyone who discovers one in a collection. So next time you come across a 1965 quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Look for the mint mark, inspect the details of Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, and check for unusual marks or slight doubling. What might seem like a common coin could actually be a hidden treasure in your hands. Top 9. We are diving into a coin that has been quietly circulating for over 40 years, yet holds secrets that could make it exciting for any coin collector, the 1981 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it may seem like a simple piece of change, George Washington on the front and the eagle spreading its wings on the back, but for those who know what to look for, this coin can be full of surprises, errors, and even hidden value. Pick up a 1981 quarter in your hand and look closely. Washington's portrait is crisp, his hair finely detailed, and the eagle on the reverse seems ready to take flight. While most of these quarters were produced in enormous numbers, the differences that make some 1981 quarters collectible are subtle but important. Mint marks are one of the first things collectors examine. AP under the date means it came from Philadelphia, AD is from Denver, and proof coins from the San Francisco Mint carry an S. Proof versions are far rarer and were made with a mirror-like finish, intended for collectors rather than everyday circulation. Errors are where the excitement really begins. Some 1981 quarters were struck slightly off-center, creating an unusual appearance with part of the eagle or Washington cut off. Others show double dies, where letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated. Die cracks or raised metal spots are other rare errors that make a coin one of a kind. Even a minor error can dramatically increase a coin's value because these mistakes were never intended, and collectors love coins that are truly unique. Condition is equally important for collectors. Most 1981 quarters have been in circulation for decades, showing wear, scratches, and faded details. These coins are typically worth only their face value of 25 cents. But an uncirculated 1981 quarter, with bright luster, sharp edges, and clear details, can be much more valuable. High-grade mint state examples are hard to find because so few have survived decades untouched. Now, let's talk about real-world value. A typical circulated 1981 quarter is worth just 25 cents. A clean, uncirculated example can sell for a few dollars, depending on condition. Coins with minor errors, especially double dies or off-center strikes, often reach auction prices in the tens to hundreds of dollars. Exceptional examples, proof coins in perfect condition or high-grade mint state quarters with rare errors, have sold for several $100s, and in some cases, even over $1,000, making them a highly sought-after collectible. So next time you come across a 1981 quarter, don't just glance at it. Examine the mint mark, check the edges, look for crisp details, and inspect it carefully for unusual errors. What looks like ordinary change could actually be a hidden treasure in your collection. Top 10, and last rare coin. We are diving into a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but for collectors, it tells a fascinating story: the 1967 United States quarter dollar. If you think all quarters are the same, think again. This coin marks an important era in U.S. coinage history and holds secrets that can make it exciting for anyone interested in coins and collectibles. Listen closely, because what seems like simple change can sometimes be a hidden treasure. The 1967 quarter is special because it was minted during a period of change. This was after the U.S. stopped using silver in quarters in 1965, meaning that the 1967 quarter is composed of copper-nickel-clad metal instead of 90% silver. This shift in composition alone makes it a coin worth noting, bridging the era of traditional silver quarters and modern circulation coins. When you hold a 1967 quarter, the front reveals the familiar portrait of George Washington, proud and bold, while the reverse showcases the eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch. But there is more to notice than just the design. Collectors immediately check the mint mark. Coins from Denver carry AD, while Philadelphia coins have no mint mark. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are extremely rare for this year and are often the ones that attract the most attention because of their mirror-like finish and perfect details. Errors and minting anomalies make this coin even more interesting. Some 1967 quarters show doubling on the letters or numbers, creating a double die effect. Others have die cracks that produce raised lines across the coin surface, while a few were struck slightly off-center, causing part of the eagle or Washington to be cut off. These unusual coins are rare and highly sought after because every error is unique, giving each coin a story and increasing its value in the eyes of collectors. Condition is a critical factor as well. Most 1967 quarters have been in circulation for decades, accumulating scratches, worn edges, and faded details. These coins are generally only worth face value, 25 cents. However, a coin that has survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, with sharp details, bright luster, and no handling marks, can be far more valuable. High-grade examples are surprisingly hard to find because so many of these quarters were used in everyday transactions. Now let's talk real-world value. A typical circulated 1967 quarter is worth just 25 cents. A clean, uncirculated example can sell for a few dollars depending on condition. Coins with small mint errors, double dies, or off-center strikes can reach tens to hundreds of dollars at auction. Exceptional examples, especially rare proofs or top-graded mint state coins, have sold for several $100s and, in rare cases, even over $1,000. This makes the 1967 quarter an exciting coin for collectors to watch for in coin rolls or old collections. So next time you find a 1967 quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Check the mint mark, look for sharp details, inspect the edges, and watch for unusual doubling or raised lines. What seems like an ordinary coin might actually be a hidden collectible with surprising value. If you enjoyed learning about the 1967 quarter and want more videos uncovering rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss another coin adventure. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!